This is our guy, Sean, a young, autistic surgeon with savant syndrome from the small city of Casper, Wyoming. Although he's not great at expressing himself, his savant syndrome gives him abilities like near photographic recall and the ability to notice minute details, skills that are incredibly valuable for a surgeon. Today is the day of his interview at the prestigious St. Bonaventure Hospital in San Jose. In the early morning, he steps out of the house with his luggage. Passing the football field, his mind flashes back to his childhood, where he was often bullied by other kids, but each time his younger brother rushed over to protect him. Then he boards the plane to San Jose International Airport. The bustling crowd makes him anxious, and he instinctively pulls out a toy scalpel wrapped in a handkerchief. Suddenly, a massive billboard falls and crashes into another, sending shards of glass raining down like a storm of sharp knives, striking a boy and knocking him unconscious. The boy's parents scream in terror, rushing to call for help. A man claiming to be a doctor steps forward and presses a cloth to the boy's bleeding wound. But then, a voice cuts through the chaos. "You're killing him." The crowd freezes. He's still a child. His carotid artery is higher. You're pressing his trachea. He can't breathe. With precise movements, Sean steps forward, adjusts the doctor's hand, and the boy starts breathing again. The doctor is stunned. "Who are you?" he asks. "I'm Dr. Shaun Murphy, a surgical resident at St. Bonaventure Hospital." Sean's eyes lock on the boy's arm, varicose veins. He looks at the boy's chest, and, in an instant, the human anatomy flashes before his eyes. A complete image. Without hesitation, Sean announces his chest pressure is abnormal. The doctor dismisses it, but Sean insists his chest isn't moving right. "He has a pneumothorax. We need surgery." Sean gives orders to prepare for artificial respiration. His breathing will fail soon, and Sean knows exactly what needs to be done. But there's a problem. The airport security denies him access to a knife. Desperate, Sean picks one up and runs, but doesn't get far. Just in time, the boy's mother arrives, explaining the situation. 5 minutes later, the boy's breathing is shallow, and the doctor is struggling with artificial respiration. Finally, Sean secures a knife, a tube, tape, and 2 bottles of whiskey. The operation begins. Sean sterilizes everything, knife, tube, and incision, by pouring whiskey on it. He cuts the tube in half, sealing one end into a bottle, taping it shut. He knows exactly what needs to be done. Expel the air trapped around the boy's lung, and let it function again. Sean starts the surgery. The boy's parents stand horrified, unable to look away. The doctor watches, baffled. The operation continues smoothly. Sean presses the tube into the boy's body, lifts the bottle, and the whiskey starts to bubble. The doctor can't take it any longer. "What is that bottle for?" he asks. Sean explains. The tube lets the air out, while the liquid prevents air from getting back in, creating a one-way valve. It works. The boy starts breathing again. The crowd cheers. The boy's parents are in tears. It's the first time Sean has saved someone's life. And that's when his legendary journey in medicine begins. But in the boardroom of St. Bonaventure Hospital, a fierce debate rages. Should they let Sean join the team? Marcus, the director of surgery, vehemently opposes. But the hospital director, Aaron Glassman, takes a different stance. "I don't deny that Sean has autism," he says. But he takes care of himself. He has savant syndrome, medical skills, spatial intelligence, and a unique ability to see things differently. For surgeons, these qualities are unmatched. Aaron has been Sean's mentor since he was 14. He knows exactly what Sean is capable of, knows the kind of doctor he'll become. Meanwhile, Sean is en route to the hospital in an ambulance when he notices an abnormal electrocardiogram. He tells the paramedic, but they brush it off. Arriving at the hospital, Sean insists that the boy needs an echocardiogram, but Claire, the attending cardiothoracic surgeon, dismisses him. After all, the boy's heart signs seem fine. Scene pushes. Stay calm or you'll be kicked out, Claire warns. But Scene insists on following them, desperate to help. He's thrown out by security. Scene looks up at the rain falling from the eaves. The sight takes him back to his childhood. He remembers being rejected by school after school because of his autism. In a fit of anger, his father struck him, throwing his beloved rabbit against the wall. Scene and his brother took the rabbit to Dr. Glassman, then a family friend. Meanwhile, in the operating room, the boy's surgery begins. Neil, impressed by the one-way valve Scene designed, turns to Claire. Maybe we should give him an echocardiogram, she suggests, despite her earlier dismissal. As they review the results, Scene notices a microscopic deformity in the boy's right atrium. Neil dismisses it, but Claire believes something's wrong. The glass shards may have entered the bloodstream, traveling to the superior vena cava, possibly rupturing it. Neil reluctantly agrees. Back in the boardroom, Aaron Glassman continues to fight for Scene's place in the hospital. Only Jessica supports him, while the rest of the board remains unconvinced. But then the video of Scene's heroic rescue goes viral. Everyone knows his name now. In the operating room, Scene watches the procedure closely, remembering his childhood. His brother once gave him a toy scalpel, encouraging him. "You can do anything, and I'm proud of you, Scene." And as he watches the surgeons, he knows this is his place. After the operation, Neil is stunned to find a piece of glass near the superior vena cava, just as Scene predicted. Aaron tries to convince Neil to add Scene to the team, but Neil refuses, citing Shane's autism. Aaron takes a drastic step. "If Scene doesn't prove his worth in 6 months, I'll resign," he says. The board is shocked. They want to know why Scene wants to become a surgeon. After a long silence, Scene finally speaks. "I was bullied as a child. My father despised me. My brother protected me, but when my rabbit died, I wanted to be a doctor to save things, to save lives." His eyes well up. "My brother, he's gone. I couldn't save him, and I can't change the past. But I want to help others grow, live their lives. I want to help people have the chance I never had." And with a pause, he adds, "I also want to make a lot of money and buy a TV." Laughter fills the room. The chairman extends her hand. "Welcome to the hospital, Scene." The moment arrives. Scene's first surgery begins. As he dons his surgical gown, Neil mocks him. "You're smart, but you don't belong here." Scene responds bluntly, "You're better than the doctors I've seen in medical school, but you're arrogant. Is that what makes you a good surgeon?" The end.